Hi, Aletha with Create Your Future, and thank you for joining me on this video to remind you that Create Your Future is still giving away a free course, How to Find Your Blocks to Manifest Anything Fast. I have courses available and I do one-on-one coaching, so check it all out. The links are in the description box below. Today we're going to talk about as within, so without. Neville says the subconscious accepts as true that which you feel as true. So your self-concept, what do you believe about yourself? What do you believe is true about other people? Whatever that is, your subconscious mind just automatically accepts that as truth. It doesn't debate with you. No, that's the rational mind. It doesn't say, no, that's not who they are. No, that's not who you are. It just accepts. Your subconscious mind totally accepts whatever you believe is truth about yourself, situations, or other people. And because creation is the result of your subconscious impressions, mean whatever you impress on the subconscious mind, whatever you tell the subconscious mind is the truth about you, a situation, or somebody else, then that will be pushed out of you. It says, so because the creation is a result of your subconscious impression, you, by your feeling that it's truth, determine creation. You're selecting your creation. You're selecting your 3D with your thoughts and your feelings. So you understand that you already are everything your heart desires. It's there. It's available in another dimension. You just need to shift to it. How do we shift to it? We shift to it through our thoughts and our feelings. We decide that and assume that I am this now. And that becomes your truth. The subconscious mind says, okay, pushes it out, and then it has to be reflected back to you. So whatever you believe your truth is about yourself, about someone else, or a situation, then that has to be mirrored back to you. So as within, so without. You are creating your own circumstances. If you don't like what you're seeing in your reality right now, it's only because you've had thoughts that have produced this reality. But you can change those thoughts in any second in time. In the moment, whatever you're thinking right now, what are you thinking right now? Because whatever you're thinking right now will be pushed out of you. It will impress the subconscious mind as your truth, and then it will be reflected back, especially if it's something that you're continually thinking that I'm not good enough, that they love someone else, they don't love me, that I never have enough money. What is your story about yourself in all areas of your life? Not just a specific person, but what is your story about yourself as a person? What is your story about yourself economically, about your health, about a specific person, or about the relationship you're already in? What is your story about yourself? What is your story about the world that you're living in and the people you're associating with? What is your story about your family? You need to check what that is. Sit down and write it out and think about it, and then decide, is this what I want to experience? Because I am, with these thoughts, selecting my next 3D reality. And if it's not something you like, if you're thinking negative things, then you're going to have a negative experience show up in your 3D reality, because your subconscious mind will always prove to you what your thoughts are. So if your thoughts are negative, that they don't love me, or they don't want me, that I never have enough money, that I always get colds, that I'm ill, and I'm telling everyone all the time that I've got this illness or this disease, and I'm using it as a crutch sometimes just to get attention. If I'm doing those things, then they're going to continue to show up in my life, and I'm not going to be healed. I'm not going to become affluent. I'm not going to be with the SP, because I'm not living from a state of consciousness that says I have all those things perfectly the way that my heart desires them. Like I have perfect health, and every day I'm getting better and better, or that I am always living in a state of perfect health. I always live in a state of affluence and abundance, that I always have more than enough money to cover all of my expenses, that I am always in a loving, beautiful relationship with the person that I desire. And if you're already in a relationship, then you need to maintain that relationship with your positive thoughts, that that person is everything your heart ever desired. Do not talk about your specific person in a negative way to someone else, because you are selecting those negative thoughts, feelings as your next 3D reality when you do that. So you need, because you're doing it with intensity. You're telling someone all about all the things they do and that you don't like. That's intensity. That's emotional. Your feelings are so important, because they are the magnet that pull whatever it is into you. So instead of talking negatively about they don't do this, they don't do that, I wish they did this, they're, anything negative, Switch it to positive, to what you do want. Assume you have it now and that they're the perfect person for you. Assume your health is the perfect health for you. Assume your bank account is exactly what you want it to be, and think big. Not just, I got an extra $100, extra $1,000, extra $5,000. Think large and live from a state of consciousness of always having, and always living in a state of abundance, whether it's love, health, money, family, whatever it may be, career, whatever it is. Think in a positive state of mind about it. And you can say something like, everything always works out perfectly for me according to what I choose it to be, because you are literally selecting your reality. Neville Goddard says this, again, I'll read it. He says, the subconscious accepts as true that which you feel as true. So check your thoughts. What are you believing that's true about yourself and other people and all your situations? And because creation is the result of subconscious impressions, the things you tell it that you believe are true, that gets impressed on the subconscious mind. That's what the subconscious mind then will push out and then will be mirrored back to you. You are, and you by your feelings determine creation. And that's what I want to talk about. You by your feelings determine your creation. That's why I often say, instead of being that we are conscious creators, we're conscious selectors. And because we're selecting X, Y, and Z, we are then having that be our creation. But we're selecting it first. It is a choice. You are selecting it first. And then it becomes the creation, because you're selecting it with your thoughts and your feelings. Thoughts produce emotions. So if you're feeling sad and more and tired and weary, trying to manifest something into your life, then you are pushing that out of you. And what are you going to get? More sad and weary things in your life that cause you to feel sad and weary. Instead, you have to live from the assumption that whatever it is my heart desires is mine now, and feel that feeling. So if you want to be with your specific person, you live from that state of consciousness. Because if you do live in the feelings that it's already mine, you're not looking for when it's going to happen. You're not asking how long is it going to take. You're not wondering how it's going to happen, because it's already happened. All you need to do is live there. And if you think you're pretending, stop. Because as within, so without. Whatever I'm thinking right now in the moment, whether it's showing up in the 3D or not, is what's going to show up in the 3D in the future. Why? Because the true reality is in the moment, not the 3D. It is a reflection, a hologram, a simulation, an illusion of your past thoughts and fears. And if it's positive, excitement and joy. And so if you want to be certain that whatever it is your heart desires manifest, then you live internally in the moment, every single moment, that it's yours now, and you feel how that would feel. Assume the feeling that would be yours if you had it now, because you do. In the quantum field, it's yours, but you've got to give it your attention. You've got to give it your feelings. And when you live assuming that it's yours now and feeling the feelings that would be yours, were you already in experiencing it right now, then that's going to show up, because you're telling the subconscious mind, this is my truth. It's not a lie. What's a lie is what you're giving all your attention to in the 3D, because it's past, it's a reflection, it's not real. The truth is, whatever it is my heart is desiring right now, I'm living from that and feeling that internally. And that's the truth. That's what I'm selecting. And the subconscious says, okay, that's your truth. So it pushes it out, and then it has to be mirrored back. And so if we could just get ourselves to live from the moment being what we want it to be, no matter what the external world is saying or showing us. Your SP comes up and says, I don't ever want to be with you again. I'm sorry. I'm not interested, blah, 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 whatever they say. And internally you're saying that he's your forever person, and that he's so totally, or she is totally, completely committed to you and only you. You say that in the moment. It has to be pushed out, because that becomes your new truth. And you convince yourself that that's the truth. And when you've convinced yourself that that's the truth, and that comes from rehearsing, that comes from living from that feeling, from imagining, from saying your intentions with feeling, not just robotic intentions, you've got to feel them, because the feeling pulls it into us. Thought is information. It's the direction you want to go, but it needs your feelings. That they have to be married together. That is a unit that will then produce whatever it is your heart's desiring. So you select what you're going to think about and what you're going to feel. That gets impressed on the subconscious mind as your truth. Then it's pushed out of the subconscious mind, and then it's reflected back to you as the thing your heart desires manifested in the 3D. And what do you do with the 3D? How do you walk through the 3D? You live internally that this is what I am. This is who I am. This is what I want. This is, this is mine now. And you just dismiss what's going on in the 3D, and you stay focused only on the assumption that, and the feeling that this is mine now. It doesn't matter what they're saying. I mean, that's happened to me so many times where I've been told, specifically told that they were leaving, and then I decided, no, you're not, because I'm in control of you. They must conform to me. And so for the 2 days, and from the time they told me that, and the 2 days later when they showed up, I just kept saying, no, they're mine. They're mine. I kept saying affirmations and intentions, and living from the feeling that everything was fine and I was in this beautiful, loving relationship. And then 2 days later, they showed up again, and they never, ever actually said anything about why they left. I don't think they even realized they did, because why? We shifted into another dimension where we were together, as opposed to the old one that came from my fears. So bottom line, you impress the subconscious mind with your truth, and your truth is whatever you're assuming your life to be now, and feeling those feelings. And then it's pushed out and reflected back. That's how you do it. It's that simple, but it also takes work. It takes a determined effort, a determined mindset to choose the thoughts and the feelings that are in alignment with what your heart's desiring, and to dismiss anything contrary to that in the 3D. And to recognize the 3D is not real. It's a reflection of your past thoughts. The true reality is the reality that's going on inside of you, as within, so without. If you have questions or comments, leave them below, and you can contact me too for coaching if you want. So remember, as within, so without. Whatever you're thinking now in the moment, and you're really focusing on that, and you're feeling those feelings, it is going right to your subconscious mind. It is impressing it as your truth. It will push that truth out, and it will be mirrored back to you, whether it is positive or negative. Blessings.